Hello, and welcome to Cruising Through Calculus. My name is Alex, and today I wanted to go over a series of limit questions that are based off of a single graph. This is something you will undoubtedly run into in your calculus course, whether it be homework or a quiz or a test. And it really is a great series of questions because, based on just a single graph here, we can ask you a little bit of everything that you've learned about limits and functions to see if you understand what's going on graphically speaking. So let's walk through how to answer all these questions. If you can answer all of these questions on your own and understand them, you should be good when it comes to finding limits by graphs. Let's start with the first one, the limit as x approaches -2 from the right. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to find where -2 is, and I'm going to approach x equals -2 from the right. And as I do that, you can see I'm approaching this hole up here, which has a y-coordinate of 5. So that will be our first answer. To find the limit as x approaches -2, notice it doesn't say from the left or from the right. What we're going to do is pick 2 points that are close to -2, and then approach from either side. In this case, as we get closer to x equals -2, there are 2 different values that we are approaching here. Since we're approaching 2 different values and not one value, we're going to say the answer is does not exist. To find f of -2, we're going to jump straight to where x is equal to -2 and find out where it is defined. And it is defined right here at this point, which has a y-coordinate of -1. So that will be that answer. To find f of -1, we jump straight to where x is -1 and find where it's defined. Aha, here it is. It looks like it's right in between 1 and 2. So I'm going to say that's 1.5. To find the limit as x approaches 0, I'm going to find where x is equal to 0, pick 2 points that are close to it, and then approach x equals 0. And as I do that, I'm getting closer and closer to this spot right here, which looks like it has a y-coordinate of 0. So our limit here is going to equal 0. Remember that both sides have to be approaching the same value in order to get an answer. To find the limit as x approaches 1 from the left, let's find 1, and then approach x equals 1 from the left. As I do that, I'm getting closer to this point up here, which looks like has a y-coordinate of 3. So that will be my answer. To find the limit as x approaches 1 from the right, I'm going to find where x is equal to 1 and then pick a point slightly to the right and then approach x equals 1 from the right. It looks like I'm getting closer to this hole here, which has a y-coordinate of -2. So that's my answer. To find f of 1, we jump straight to where x is equal to 1 and find out where it's defined. Holes are undefined, but points are defined, and there is a point up here at a y-coordinate of 3. So that is our answer. Let's find the limit as x approaches 3 from the left next. Here is x equals 3, and it is a vertical asymptote. So if we pick a point to the left of x equals 3 and then approach x equals 3, you can see that the graph is shooting straight down here, always getting closer to the vertical asymptote, but never touching it. Since it's always going down, we're going to say our answer is -infinity. To find the limit as x approaches 3 from the right, we do the same idea but from the right side. We're still approaching the asymptote, but this time it's coming in from the other side and our graph is shooting straight up. Since the y values are always increasing, we will say the answer is infinity. To find the limit as x approaches 3, we can actually just look at the previous 2 answers we got. One of them was -infinity and the other was +infinity. Since those are 2 different answers, I'm going to say the answer is D and E. Finally, we have the limit as x approaches infinity. This is really just a fancy way of saying what happens as you move further along to the right on the graph. So, as we move further and further along to the right, it looks like we're approaching this right here. This is a little horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. And since that is what we are approaching, that is our answer. As I said before, If you can go through this and answer these questions on your own and understand the correct answers, you will be good for finding limits using graphs. If you found this video helpful, you might consider checking out my website, which is linked in the description below. You'll be brought to Infinity Learning Academy, where you can find Cruising Through Calculus. At Cruising Through Calculus, we have over 100 videos and documents to help you get through your calculus class, including videos for each topic, practice problems, and full video solutions for those practice problems. I hope to see you there, and together we can cruise through calculus.